Okay.
Mommy, and someone's looking at me.
Yeah, they're all looking at you. I can't. So, um, okay.
Mommy,
Oh, okay. So today we're going to be going over the third agreement in the four agreements. This one is actually besides the second one, this is one of my favorites and it just makes a lot of sense. And um I feel like, do you have anything else you want to say to them?
yeah,
Yeah, what else? They're waiting.
yeah,
If you don't have anything to say, it's my turn. Is that okay?
yeah. I want to say it's my
Okay, so say. Tell them what's up.
What's up?
No, I can't. You see them waving? You see them? Look right here. They're waving at you. All right. Is it my turn now?
No, it's my turn.
Oh, y'all, I
It's my
can't.
turn to talk.
But you got to say stuff. If you don't say anything, then,
And I talk on the computer with everyone.
yeah, you can talk on the computer with everyone, but
Yeah,
you have to say something. If you don't say anything, then, it's mommy's turn.
I said,
What are you going to say?
yeah, I gotta go.
Where are you going to go?
I go for today and back to our home. I play some toys. I just only clean up my toys. Only I did and watch Lebby. Didn't work like that. Lebby and coach.
That was great, Zephaniah. You did a good job.
Yeah.
You gave them the whole rundown. Can I have my turn now?
No,
Please.
it's my turn.
Baby, I have to have my turn. Please and thank you. And you're ripping off the sticker on the computer. That's not nice. He went to work and played. Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. Okay. So, like I was saying, we're going over the third agreement, right? That we have in the four agreements. And this one is pretty phenomenal because a lot of the time, I think a lot of us, like in general, people just do this and it just causes more conflict than it should. So the third agreement that we're going to be going through is don't make assumptions. And I feel like that just happens way too often in life. And it talks about when we, come on, don't mess with the dog. When we make assumptions about people or things or situations, and then, things don't happen in our favor, we start to blame those people in those situations because of what we thought was supposed to happen or what was going to happen. And that just causes a negative reaction, right, to what's happening in our own, energy and our vibes. And we don't need to do that. We need to start protecting our energy more. And if we want to do that, we can't make assumptions about anything. If things play out the way that you hoped for them to play out, that's awesome. And if they don't, they don't. You know what I'm saying? But when we tend to react off of the fact that we made an assumption about something, we we sometimes put poison out into the world because of how we reacted, and we all know that whatever you put out into the world is going to come right back to you tenfold. So we have to be definitely mindful of everything that we do. I see the pen. And the book talks about the fact that a lot of the stuff we've already gone through in our lives that were most like negative, a lot of the time we're dealing with those we're dealing with those emotions and those feelings of sadness because we made assumptions during those times. Does that make sense? If it does, drop a 3. If it don't make sense and I'm chatting, drop a 2. All right, cool. Y'all with me. And has anyone ever been through any type of situation, whether you were young as a kid or growing into your adulthood, where you are not encouraged to ask questions? And because you don't ask questions, you're only left with your own imagination to make assumptions. If that's you or was you can drop a 7. I'm gonna drop my 7. So we grow through those situations, right? And now we find ourselves like just always not asking questions anymore and using our imagination to assume, because we have developed this fear. We've developed this fear of, not asking questions because it wasn't encouraged, or you're not supposed to do that. And it's hard to get out of that, especially when you come to a space like this where they're like, ask your mentors questions all the time. And I'm like, what does that look like? How am I supposed to do that? I myself, I don't know how to ask questions sometimes because of what I've been through. And I can honestly say that it's hindered my growth in this space. Excuse me. Thank you.
I want to say Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
You can go sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star with Lila and Erica. Yeah, go ahead. Go sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star with them.
Take orange and...
Go ahead, take the pens.
Take the pens for me.
All right, have fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, in this space, it's been a interesting journey. And I've realized after like really reading this book that I created more challenges for myself because I decided that I can't ask questions even when it is encouraged. Like, you still have that fear in you because of what you've been through already. You're like, but what if I ask a stupid question, or what if it's the wrong question? And from experience, there are no stupid questions and there are no wrong questions. You just don't know certain things yet, and you need to find out. And someone is going to have that answer for you. Just like when, we get with our prospects and we're like, well, I can introduce you to my mentors, or, you're going to be part of this community. So even if I can't answer a certain question because I'm not at that skill level, you'll have access to someone who does have that skill level, and you can ask them questions. And even from the get-go, we're told, yep, ask questions. And we're like, we still don't. Hold on, y'all. Somebody just text me. It's a queen that I would love to have on this call. All right, so Stephanie, please don't take that out. That makes a mess.
That's making a mess?
Yeah. Are you getting that book?
Yeah.
Okay. You have to use a different marker for that. Find the markers in there. Okay. Sometimes when we make assumptions, right? And we use our imagination, right? We're dreaming up a lot of things that aren't even there. So we tend to hurt ourselves more than we realize. And you create this like this whole world that it's really not there, and you're just living off of what you've already imagined versus the real world. So then now you're a little confused. You're confusing yourself because you have this imagination of what is going to happen or what is supposed to happen that's not even there. And I encourage you guys to let go of the fears that you have of asking questions or asking for clarifications in any situation, so that you can move the right way, so that you can go in there with confidence, because you're not unsure, or because you're overthinking about the dream that you made up. Like when we go into certain situations and we meet people for the first time, and it's like, okay, are they gonna like me? Are they gonna be nice? Or what if they're like this? Or what if they're like the people that I've dealt with before? Or what if they behave the same way that I've had other people behave towards me? And we just go on and we think and we think and we think and we think and we assume, and we just make things worse for ourselves. That's where those illnesses of anxiety come from. And even sometimes depression. It's just our overthinking and not asking for clarification on anything. Okay. When we ask for clarification, right? It's because we have that need to feel safe. We need to know certain things so that we're sure. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with needing to know what's happening and what's going on, because we're all hold on, I'm gonna fix that just in case more people hop on. Mute all upon entry. There we go. I be forgetting to press the button, y'all. Are you okay?
No.
No? All right. He's laughing, but he's not okay, y'all. Children. Okay. So the book says, right? If others tell us something, we make assumptions. And if they don't tell us something, we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know and to replace the need to communicate. Some of us out there are afraid to even have conversations with people. We're afraid of what the outcome is going to be. So we much rather make assumptions. And that causes problems and frictions within our relationships, whether it's platonic or romantic, because we're just sitting there making those assumptions. And please don't do that. Zephaniah, can I tell you something real quick? Right when I'm on the computer with all of my wonderful ladies here, I'm working. I understand, but I'm working and I need it to be quiet so I can work. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Y'all, you see, he needed clarification because he assumed I was just in here having fun. Okay. So, wow, that was a really good example. Like, no lie. Because he just kept coming in. And I was like, I can't. In alignment. Yo, for sure. So sometimes when we're making these assumptions, right, within our relationships and within situations, we are sometimes even rejecting ourselves so that we got it overdone and we got it done first before anyone else could do it to us. Does that make sense? If it does, drop a 4. All right, cool. And when we do this, right, when we have these assumptions about ourselves, about the fact that we're not going to be accepted, now we're creating inner conflict. And that's not healthy, right? We know that. Zephaniah. Oh, I'm about to get gangsta on him. He come in again because that's ridiculous. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I got like a lot of sections highlighted in here. It's a lot. So it says you make an assumption, right? Then you discover that you may. Yeah, hold on. All right, I'm back. All right, so let's say you tell yourself, I think I'm able to do it, right? Whatever it is. You make that assumption and then you do the thing, right? Or you attempt to do the thing and it doesn't come out the way you want it to. Now you have all these feelings of self-doubt and you're like, did I overestimate myself? Or like, should I have done something different? And in these moments, you haven't taken the time to ask yourself enough questions and to answer the questions before you just go in head on. And sometimes we need to do that. Now, I'm not saying take all day long to figure out if you can do something or not, but you should have a moment where you're asking yourselves certain questions about what you're about to do, just so you can have that extra confirmation and that conversation with yourself. Because sometimes we may need to gather more information. We just need to really do our research, whether it's within or we need to, actually research like on our phones or something, right? And sometimes in those situations, we're actually lying to ourselves about what it is that we're possibly about to do. Because it's not always something positive that we're saying, yeah, I can do this. It may not always be a positive thing. Like sometimes we get into situations and we're, a little petty and you're like, that was right of me to do that. Or, yep, I could be real petty. Yep, I could return that same energy that I didn't like. And you did it so quickly because of whatever assumptions you were making about the situation you're in that you didn't even take the time to think about it. Should I spend this time being like this, giving back this type of energy? Should I, or no, what would happen if I do that? What type of energy am I going to receive back after that? Because it's not like something happened to you and then you responded or you reacted, right? And nothing else happens after that. No, it's a continuous cycle. So you have to be cautious of even what you're putting back out there, no matter what's happening in your life. And this is actually something that I'm growing through personally. Anytime that I'm faced with a challenge or negative energy, I'm like, I have to ask myself, do I want to be equally negative about whatever's happening right now? Or do I just want to continue to give out positive energy? And a lot lately, I'm sitting there asking myself a lot of questions before I respond, but it's worth it. Honestly, it's definitely worth it. And it makes you feel better at the end of the day, because you're like, wow, like I'm proud of myself, right? For having that discipline. 2, I feel better because I didn't well up negative energy, because we may have pent up aggression within us, right? That we're not expressing because we're looking to be better people. And when you let just a little bit of negative energy come out because you're like, what, I have a comeback that I've been waiting to use. You're like, it becomes like this well, or even this waterfall, that it's just like, okay, I need to spew out more negative energy, but the situation happened, it's over. Now you're just sitting there with all this negative energy that has nowhere else to go. And the same thing happens with the positive energy. Once you bring that up, you're just happy for the rest of the day. You're like, oh my God, like I could really do this. I could really be positive when shit is going left around me. I could really do that. Okay. So in this chapter, they talk a lot about the relationship part in making assumptions. And like they go very into specifics on romantic relationships. Now, I'm asking a question. Drop a 5 if you've ever been in a relationship with someone that did a lot of the right things, but did a lot of the wrong things.
Want to put on my socks and my shoes?
You're not going anywhere, so you don't need socks and shoes. Now, while you were in those situations, did you ever feel like, if I love them enough, or if I am with them long enough, that they'll change? They'll start to do the right things, like more of the right things, or the wrong things will go away. They'll realize that, they don't have to be this way.
This way.
Yes, if that was you, you could drop a 2. I'm gonna drop all my 2 because y'all.
Drop a 2.
And
that's way cushion.
And she said, yes, run.
Running.
I know that now. Right? But I have done that more than twice in past relationships, where I'm thinking that if I do the right things, or I stay, or I try to teach them or whatever, that they're going to change, that they're just going to get better. And realistically, it doesn't work that way. And I feel like sometimes we make those assumptions that they're gonna change because we want to justify that, not everybody stays the same, or that, we're not perfect, so we can't expect them to be perfect. And I'm gonna let you know, it is perfectly okay for you to want someone who's going to do all of the right things all the time. And we don't have to settle for the people that don't always do the right things, or always do the wrong things. That,
Yeah.
I know, baby, I know. It's okay to get out of situations knowing that, some people just don't want to grow, or don't want to change, or they haven't reached that level of awareness yet in their own lives. And we have to make sure, even through those processes, that we're always being authentically ourselves, because sometimes we don't want to shine that bright because we know that they don't shine that bright. So we dim our own light because we don't want to make them feel inferior. And I'm gonna let y'all know that is a personal problem. If they feel inferior, that is not your issue, ever. So don't get in a situation where you're presenting this false image of yourself too, where you're possibly hiding yourself to the point where you may not know who you are anymore. Stop that. You want to lay down?
Yeah.
Okay, so lay down.
Mommy,
Lay down. That's not laying down, but okay.
I want to lay down with you.
Oh, with me? Okay. All right, so here's what you're gonna do. You put your head right there. You're gonna lay down. Straight chilling. All right. All right, so we talked about asking questions to make sure that you know what's up at all times so that you're not just assuming. Okay, so when you start to get into that flow, right, of asking questions and making sure that you have clarification so that you're not assuming, your word starts to become even more impeccable, which is one of the agreements we already went over. And I feel like that's amazing. The more you continue to grow, right, and understand that you need to move a different way so that you can have different types of results, right? That everything about how you move starts to improve. It's not like you're just improving one part of your life and everything else is going to stay stagnant. Everything improves because you really want this. You really want this growth. You're dedicated to the results that you really want to have and that you're looking for. And with clear communication, all of your relationships change, all of them. You start to find your voice and find who you are, and you're unafraid and unapologetic about how you feel about situations. And that is actually at a point where I'm at right now, where even when I want to shed light on a certain situation or a certain behavior that someone else may be throwing out bad energy or interesting energy, then I'm like, do you see what you're doing right now? Like, I love you, but do you see what you're doing right now? And how can we move forward? Or how can we make things better? And there was a point in time in my life where I was afraid to do that, or I was afraid to let people know, like, hey, like, your energy is kind of like shifting the mood in here. I would love to continue to have a great time. In order for us to do that, we can't do what you just did. And people are either going to accept it or reject it, and we have to be okay with either outcome. And when you begin to grow in that way, to the point where you're not afraid anymore, you start to feel freer in life. You don't feel as restricted as you used to. You don't feel like you're gonna get blamed for things. You don't feel like you're going to be ridiculed. People are gonna have whatever reactions they're gonna have, but because of your growth and your journey, it doesn't affect you the way that it used to. Y'all, what are y'all doing? I can't. Now, I know that everything we've gone through so far with the agreements, it's stuff that it's easier said than done, for sure. We have a lot of like inner work to do in order for us to really get there. But we have the tools now. We understand what we're going to be doing and what we want to do in order to get where we want to go. So the biggest thing is that you stay disciplined, that when you say you're going to do something, you do it. When you say that you're going to change how you behave, how you walk, how you talk, that you stick to that. Because when you don't and you become inconsistent, your results are inconsistent. So, and we don't want those. We don't want inconsistent results. We want to have our growth be ever changing and evolving, but on a heightened level. Every time we grow, it's just we reached a new level and a new level and a new level, because growth never stops. We're never going to know everything. We're never going to be the perfect human being that did so much growing that we don't have to grow anymore. It doesn't work that way. When you're no longer growing, you start to die. And that's I don't know who said that, but it's a quote that I've heard for like the last year and a half, 2 years. And it changed everything for me. It changed my perspective on growth, because a lot of people do think that they've done so much growing, or once they reach a certain age that they're lit, they're good, they don't have to do much anymore. And once we understand that growing is a forever thing, it takes the pressure off of growth. It takes that pressure off. We're no longer like, oh my God, I'm not growing as fast as other people are. Oh my gosh, I'm still not where I want to be in growth. You're never going to be where you want to be in growth, because you're always going to be growing. And then one day you're going to reach the level that you always wanted to reach. And you'll be like, damn, like I'm not even done yet. I got some new goals for growth now. You're going to look at yourself the next 3 to 6 months and you're like, all right, I did that. I reached that point where I said I wanted to. What's next? And I feel like that's the most exciting thing about growth. So make sure that you continue to stay on the path to growth and stick to your commitments, because when you start to live like this, like I said, this is your way to freedom in all aspects of your life, because you understand. Stop that. I understand, or are going to understand, that these 4 agreements are the core to everything. And we're not even done, because next week is the last one. It's the last agreement, and I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited to finish off this book with you guys. It's been an amazing journey. If you haven't read the book, I still recommend that you go read it. This is how it looks right here, the 4 agreements. And there's a 5th one out there. I don't know what it is, but I know that there's the 5th agreement, and I want to get it. I got to go to the Barnes and Nobles and find it, because I've seen it before. It's a smaller book, but it looks like this in a different color scheme, and I'm excited for that one. But ladies, that's today. If you got some value from what was spoke about, please drop. Where did we not drop yet? Drop a 1. Drop a 1 if you got some value from today. And you guys know this is recorded on YouTube, so if you came in late and you didn't get to hear everything, you can watch the replay, watch the playback. And y'all, if y'all can, subscribe to my YouTube, put some comments in there. And soon, you guys, we will be seeing Barbie come back up and talk to us. I'm excited for that. And if anybody wants to host a night, please let me know. Talk to me, text me, call me up, and we can just go over some different ideas that you have. Everyone is allowed to be on here. Okay. You ain't got to ask me permission. I just want to know what you're going to talk about. So that's that. Oh, Sana said me. Okay. All right, girl. I'm gonna hold you to that. We gonna talk. So with all that being said, I'm ready. Just Zephaniah, come on. You dropping ring lights and stuff now, y'all. Drop love in your last name, and you are free to enjoy the rest of your evening.